It was sort of a bait and switch, Your Honor. He invited me to leave early. I did it to accommodate him. And then after I left, he informed me that he would not return my deposit.
If you want to leave earlier, I can't force you to stay here, but you're responsible for your lease payments through the end of March.
Did you receive any information from the defendant about the security deposit?
No.
Security deposits are governed by the property code, and they're very strict. So there's not a whole lot of whether you meant to or you didn't mean to. It is a fact question. Once the tenant moves out, the law kicks in. All right, our first contested matter of the morning will be cause 25-2293. This is Heather N. Carl versus Gustavo Artaza. And do I have someone here on behalf of the plaintiff, Heather Carl?
Yes, present.
Good morning.
Morning.
And do I have someone on behalf of the defendant, Gustavo Artaza?
Yes, I'm here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Ms. Carl, I understand. I believe you're seeking back the return of your security deposit. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. In addition to $1,150 worth of items the plaintiff agreed to purchase in the home.
All right. Let me go ahead and swear both of you in. Mr. Carl, Mr. Artaza, if you both raise your right hand. You understand that by appearing in court and offering testimony or swearing and affirming to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under a penalty of perjury. Do you so swear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Sworn in. All right. Ms. Carl, when did you become a tenant with the defendant? When did the lease begin?
Well, there are two leases. The original lease was in August of 23, and then I signed an additional lease for the following year.
So you renewed?
I renewed.
Okay, and then when did the lease end?
The lease was supposed to end on March 31st. However, the defendant sent me a text message inviting me to leave early if I wanted. It was a relatively hostile.
So Ms. Carl,
Yeah.
You had a lease that began in August of 2023, and it was a 12-month lease. What was the term?
It wasn't a 12-month lease. It was a bifurcated agreement where I could leave at the end of March, or if the house did not sell, I could continue to live there until August of the following year.
So was it a 6-month lease?
Well, I guess it went from August through March. I'm not sure how many months that is exactly, but.
So your term of your written lease was August of 2023 through March of 2024.
Correct.
And then you signed a renewal, and the renewal, did it have a timeline on it?
Oh, that was the renewal. The first one was a year. The first lease, the 2023.
You were there from August 23rd to August 24, and then you signed a renewal through March of 25?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So now you have a renewal that allows you to be there through March of 2025. Did you end up moving out before then?
I did, because the defendant
Carl, I don't know.
move out.
I'll let you tell me why. I just want to know if you did move out earlier, right? When did you move out?
I moved out on March 1st.
Moved out. So you just moved out a little bit early. You moved out essentially the first of the month and not the end of the month.
Correct.
Okay. Did you and the landlord in writing make any agreement about you moving out earlier than the lease anticipated?
Yes, he sent me a text message that I believe I included in my filing that said, "You're welcome to leave early if you like." He was putting the house up for sale. We agreed it was perfect for them to be able to take the photographs with the house staged, and that if I left early, it would be good because then people could see the house empty and they wouldn't have to have a 24-hour lead time to see the home. So I stayed until they took the photographs. Gustavo actually helped me pack up some of my things. He wished me well in a text message. It was sort of a bait and switch, Your Honor. He invited me to leave early. I did it to accommodate him. And then after I left, he informed me that he would not return my deposit because I left a month early. And I was stunned.
When you got a text message from the defendant that said you could leave early, what day was that text message?
That text message was sent in December. I can
2024?
Correct.
All right. And did he give you a date, or did you just decide to be March 1st? How did that date come up?
Well, when he showed up on February, I guess it was On January 20th, he arrived with his real estate agent. And that was when we talked about my move out date being March 1st.
All right. Was there any discussion about rent for the month of March?
No. No, I mean, I was doing him a favor. So the lease, however, does say that the deposit cannot be used for the last month's rent.
That's right. But you moved out on the 1st, correct?
Correct.
Did you have any discussion at all prior to deciding to move out about where you, and whether or not anyone owed rent for the month of March?
No, there was not any expectation that there would be rent.
That's not the question I asked, Ms. Carl. What you're saying is you didn't expect to pay because you were leaving. What I'm asking is if either of you in writing said nothing is owed for that month.
No, only discussions that we
Got
had at the
So
house.
you did not in writing confirm that you didn't know money. You just took it as an assumption because he was wanting you to leave early because he was trying to sell it. So you left.
We did
Right.
have discussions, but nothing in writing.
And that's the problem because your written lease requires you to do things in writing. So that may be the greatest information you get out of this whole thing is, especially when dealing with your housing and that much money, making no assumptions. All right. Now you did move out on March 1st. Did you have the landlord come out that day and do an inspection with you on site?
I asked him, I requested, he said he was coming and at the last minute he didn't, but he did after the fact and said that the house was in great condition.
But no one was there with you on the day you moved.
He did not come on the day that I moved.
Okay, so no one from landlord wasn't present on the day you moved. How did you return the keys?
There was a lockbox. He asked me to return the keys by putting them in the lockbox.
Okay. Did you take any photos or videos on the last day or the last few days that you were in the unit?
Yes, I took an extensive video of the entire home.
What day did you take that video?
5 minutes before walking out the door.
So on March 1st?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. What type of apartment? Is this an apartment? Is it a home? Is it what type of unit is it? It's a
It's
home?
Family home.
How large is the home?
About 5,200 square feet.
Oh, that's pretty nice. All right. What's the bedroom and bathroom breakdown?
I believe it's listed as 4 bedrooms and 3.5 baths, perhaps. Yeah.
All right. And what was the monthly rent?
It was $49.50 per month.
Did you pay a security deposit?
$4,500.
Okay, so the deposit was a bit less.
Well, that was because it was from the first lease.
Oh.
And
Oh, and then the rent went up at the renewal.
right. And even though in the first lease, it said that my rent could not be raised more than 5%, he raised my rent 10%. And, you know, I agreed to pay the extra 10% because my mother had just died. I didn't have anywhere to go. I just had to do it.
Ms. Carl, was there any portion of the lease that said the security deposit was non-refundable or that there was any additional fees due at move out, like a cleaning fee or a pet fee or?
No, I
Anything?
paid $1,000 to have the house cleaned.
No, that's not what I'm asking, Ms. Carl.
No, none of
Does
that.
the lease say that the landlord gets to automatically deduct for anything?
If there was anything wrong with the house, yes, he can
I'm
deduct.
not, I understand about things that are wrong, but sometimes I see leases that say you automatically, no matter what, agree to pay a $300 cleaning fee.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking. There's nothing that should have been deducted unless you left it damaged.
Correct.
Okay, so you were expecting to receive your full $4,500 back. All right, so you moved out March 1st, you took a video, you put the keys in the lockbox, the landlord didn't show up that day. Did you provide the landlord with a forwarding address where they could send you your check and your itemization?
Yes, I did.
When was that done?
I wasn't sure where I was going to end up living, so initially I asked him to Zelle the money to me, but on April 9th, I did provide him a physical address.
So a month after you left, you gave him your address.
I gave him a physical address.
Great. And after that, did you receive an itemization or a refund by May 9th or May 10th?
No. I did receive a check on July 28th for $275 that I returned to Mr. Artaza because I was afraid if I cashed it, it would mean I was agreeing to his terms.
All right. So Ms. Carl, between May 10th and July, did you receive any information from the defendant about the security deposit?
No.
Any communication from him at all?
Just simply that he didn't owe that to me.
When did he tell you that?
I believe it was, the first mention of that was the day after I moved out.
Ms. Carl, you moved out and you gave him a new address on April 9th. After you gave him an address, did he at any point through text message or email or phone call say to you, I'm keeping the money?
Yeah, from the day that I moved out, he continued to say he was keeping the money. Up till today, actually.
Ms. Carl, what I'm trying to establish is whether he gave you any form of an itemization after you left before he sent you a check in July. Did you get anything from him at all that said why he was keeping the money?
Yeah, the only itemization, which was well after the 30-day time frame, was that I think that was sometime in July.
So when you got the check?
Yes.
So is it your testimony, Ms. Carl, that you received no information of any type whatsoever from the defendant in the month of May and June related to your deposit?
Correct.
Defendant didn't say anything. He was silent with you in the month of June.
No, I'm not saying he was silent. What I'm saying is that from the day after I moved out, I continually texted him and said, let's try to resolve this, amicably. I left the house in really good condition. I staged it beautifully for you as, so that you could sell it. I've tried to be accommodating. Let's not do this.
He told you he was keeping your money from the get-go, though.
From the day after I moved out.
All right. Let's just move to Mr. Gustavo. Mr. Gustavo, why'd you keep all the money?
Because we had the agreement, a lease agreement that was through March 31st.
Did you send her a text message and tell her she could move out March 1st?
She asked me if she could move out earlier, and I told her, yeah, if you want to move out earlier, that's fine. If you want to move out earlier, and I left it at that because I can't force her to stay there, but her agreement goes through the end of March.
All right, so she moved out. Did you go and inspect the property after she left?
Okay, so you asked me the question, and so what? This all occurred around, I think it was like, I think around September, something like that, October, and she was wanting to. She said, Gustavo, I told her part of the agreement of you being able to stay there is that I would go ahead and be able to show it 3 months before. And she didn't really want people going in there. And so that caused a problem for me because I said, that's part of the agreement that we have. So when she told me she was leaving earlier, and that would be sometime, I guess, around January or February, I told her, yeah, you can leave if you want to leave earlier. But then I went over to her house 2 days later and I said, listen, if you want to leave earlier, I can't force you to stay here, but you're responsible for your lease payments through the end of March. And she says, well, I can't.
When did that conversation take place, Mr. Gustavo?
Sometime in late January, early February.
Go ahead.
And so I said to her, she goes, well, I can't do that. I've already arranged for the trucks to come here. I said, I get it. But you're taking out of context that you can leave early to the point of I'm letting you leave and break the contract. And I'm not doing that. And that's why
Right, so
2 days later, I went and made sure
So she moved out. When did you give her an itemization?
I got to look it up here. I think you have all the information there that I sent to y'all.
Mr. Gustavo, it's your case and you're the defendant. I would hope that you would know the day you sent your itemization to the defendant when it's a deposit that large.
Okay, let me look.
That's really the only question of fact the court really needs to know.
Yeah, let me look. Let me look here. Okay.
I'll take a look at what you sent us, Mr. Gustavo. Perhaps I'll find it faster.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I'm going to take a look through what you submitted as well. While you're looking,
Okay.
I'll check for you.
Okay.
I see we've got an invoice. I see parts of the lease.
I sent it to her. I would say,
I see.
the problem is that I
I see
deleted
a
my,
breakdown that's not dated. I see an email dated May 13th that's forwarding a message from September of 2025. Where should I send the check for the amount that I owe you after subtracting the month of March in addition to landscaping bills and bills that I've sent you? If you take me to court, I'll ask for a triple as well as a frivolous lawsuit. You can't ask for triple if there's no reason to it.
I know.
Not how that works.
Yeah.
But this is historic proof that you're still trying to send her the money in September, right?
Well, I sent her the check.
Mr.
That's
Gustavo,
correct.
that is an email from you to her in September saying, where do I send you the money? So you have not sent it. And then I have a check that's dated
Because she wouldn't give
July
me the,
15th.
because
But
she would
she
not give
said
me
she
the,
gave you an address in January. I'm sorry. She said she provided you her new address on April 9th. Ms. Carl, do you have proof that you sent your address on
Correct.
April 9th?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Gustavo, any objection that she gave you an address to mail her refund on April 9th?
I did object to her. Yes.
She says she sent you an address on April 9th. Is that true?
Let me look it up. Let me look.
I can share my screen and show you my text messages.
So Judge, if she shows you that, can you have her show you all the text messages that we had?
I don't need to see them all. Mr. Gustavo, Ms. Carl, I appreciate that y'all have a lot of emotions between you about the situation.
Yeah.
But for purposes of the court, I don't. This is a very simple issue. Security deposits are governed by the property code, and they're very strict. So there's not a whole lot of whether you meant to or you didn't mean to. It is a fact question. Once the tenant moves out, the law kicks in. It says the landlord must return or itemize the deposit within 30 days of the tenant leaving or giving an address. And it's the later of the two. She moved in March, but she didn't give you an address till April 9th. So she told her timeline until April 9th. But once she sent you the address on April 9th, the statute sticks to you, Mr. Gustavo. You have 30 days to put in writing either a reason you're keeping all the money or a refund. If you don't make your 30-day deadline, Texas law says you have no right to retain any portion of it. She gets it all back. There is no dispute whatsoever on the facts that y'all have shown me that you didn't return the money to her until at least July. So for that reason and that reason alone, it would be a judgment for the plaintiff today for $4,500, which was the amount of her deposit. All right. Judgment for plaintiff, $4,500 plus cost of court.
Oh, I like to appeal.
You absolutely can do that, sir. You both can appeal for 21 days. If you want to appeal, Mr. Gustavo, typically the amount would be double the judgment. If you can't afford that, you can ask the court to reduce it, or you could apply for an affidavit of inability. You might also be able to do a surety bond. There's some ways about it. You each have 21 days to appeal. I'll also give you more information. If y'all in the next 21 days come to an agreement with each other, it is not uncommon for parties after they come to court kind of get, the legal answer, which I recognize is not a fun answer. Because like I said, there's plots that have gone on between the parties. You had a 2-year lease. Some of it was good. Sounds like it got stressful toward the end. If y'all discuss with each other in the next 20 days and come to an agreement, the court, you can notify me of that by the end of 21 days and we can set this judgment aside. But you also can appeal. So you have all of your options. You can do nothing. The judgment becomes final on day 22. Either one of you can appeal, go to a new court. If you settle and wish to set aside the judgment, you can do that, but you must tell me together by the end of that 21-day period. All right?
Okay.
Any questions about the information I'm given?
What about the 1150 of items in the house he agreed to pay for?
Do you have proof in writing that he agreed to pay for those items?
Yes, I do.
All right. Mr. Gustavo, did you agree to pay for items that she left behind?
Yes, yes.
Why didn't you pay her for those items?
I did. I took it off of the rent that she owed me.
All right. So she gets that too. So 4,500 plus 1155 because you can't keep the deposit since you were late in itemizing it. That means
I was late in itemizing it.
Yeah, you didn't refund it until July, and you had to have put it in the mail or itemized it within 30 days of her giving you her address, and she gave it to you April 9th. So your deadline at best would have been into May. You're way past that when you're in July, sir. Okay.
I need to look and okay, that's fine.
Judgment for plaintiff, $5,655. That's $4,500 for your deposit, and then the $1,155 for items that Mr. Gustavo, you acknowledged that you agreed to let her, you would pay her for. Items owed by the defendant. All right. I don't find in bad faith. I find that you were too low, you were too slow in refunding it, and the deposit statute says you can't keep it if you're so slow in it. All right. All parties are excused. Thank y'all. Have a good morning.
Thank you.